Alrighty, so everyone, hello, hello, hello. Veronda Bellamy here, your host and creative director of the Relevancy Factor Suite. Thank you all for joining. We have a very, very, very special guest today. Her name is Miss Berni Xiong. For those that have been following me since 2013, you guys have seen her before. You've heard her voice before. You've heard about her revolution that she has going on and all of that. So today we're going to talk about intuitive readings, what they are, why we should have one, if we should have them, and then to hear about her community and all the amazing things that she's doing right now. Again, I am Veronda Bellamy, your host and creative director of the Relevancy Factor Suite. I'm your personal and business development coach, specializing in helping you go from stuck to unstoppable. Can't talk today. What's going on? I just happen to be a therapist. Berni, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you taking out the time to be with us today. For the new people that are joining, can you tell them about you and all the amazing things that you're doing?
Yes. And thank you, Veronda, for having me back again. I've always enjoyed working with you. I've always enjoyed working with your community. So thank you. I'm blessed to be here. So a lot has happened. If you have been in Veronda's community for a while and you've seen me before, a lot has happened even since then. Until now. So how I define the work I do now is I'm a truth guide, I'm an intuitive coach and trainer, and always, of course, I'm a very proud mom. The reason these things are really important to me is, back in my first go at my career, I was in the corporate world doing sales and marketing, and becoming disillusioned with the corporate world and trading in all of those hours away from family, away from friends, away from any kind of great social life, just for the nice shiny objects I was able to afford. It really left me feeling deflated, overwhelmed, and just really questioning, how did I get here? Who am I? And really, what do I want to do moving forward? So we fast forward now, I think we're going on 12 years as of this fall. I've been a coach. I have been a trainer. I've also become an intuitive healer through Reiki energy healing and other modalities, which I'll talk about today. But really what it's come down to is the work I do is to help people really connect with their self and to really learn to hone that inner voice and trust their intuition, trust that gut instinct more, so that as you go out into the world and you do what you do and you live the way you do and you interact with the people that you want to connect with, you can do it more authentically, more wholeheartedly, and with more meaning and purpose in life.
Yeah, she's the bomb.com, in other words.
Thank you.
Yeah, she is living her truth with that. Guys, so stick around because actually she's going to do a reading on me here in about 15 minutes or so. So you don't want to miss that.
Are you ready for it, Veronda?
I don't know, feeling a little vulnerable. I don't know, I'm feeling up in here, but I think you've always shared some very, very relevant and very honest and truth-telling. So I guess I can stand in that confidence as we go forward with my reading today. I'll stand in that.
Sounds good to me.
Yes. And so talking about, I like when you said truth guide and intuitive reading, truth guide. Tell the community exactly what does that mean? I know you've shared, some things about what it is you do, but what does truth guide mean exactly?
Right. So the reason I chose those terms to define the work I do is because if anybody has dabbled into the world of, spirituality or metaphysics or, whatever other words are out there, books you can find on the bookshelves, sometimes it's a little spooky when you hear about people who have this ability to connect to something greater than they are. And, I grew up Catholic. So for us, connecting to something greater than us, the power has always been God, or Jesus or Mary or, the Holy Spirit and whatnot. So over time, I started to find language that most resonated with me and the people that I want to serve. And I'm a very practical person. I come from a very logical background with my business hat on. And so I say, well, why do we have to make it more difficult than it is? So I help people get to the truth of the matter, right? And I guide them through that because I have experience as a coach. And as a coach, I'm able to listen. I'm able to really pay attention to all the things you're saying. I'm able to pay attention to the things you're not saying. And I'm able to acknowledge you and validate what you're saying so that I can repeat that back to you and let you know, here's exactly what you're saying without saying it in so many words. And I'm allowing you to see your truth, because sometimes we get so blocked, we block ourselves from hearing ourselves. And so what I like to tell people is having an intuitive reading with me is like our souls having a conversation with each other. No BS, no holding back, all the vulnerability and just truth telling to each other. So that's how I like to say it. And I want to also add this really important note here for everybody. Whether you believe it or not, we are all intuitive beings. We are all born to be intuitive, to have this instinct, to be able to trust ourselves at a very young age. And over time, life happens and learned behavior, obviously, and you have a background in this, you understand this, Veronda. And as we become adults, we block ourselves from hearing the truth. And we start to second guess ourselves. And as a result, we feel like we need to look outside of ourselves for answers often, when if we had just settled down and centered ourselves, we probably would have heard the message loud and clear. So I give people that space and that stillness, the grounding, and also the ears, being able to listen to them and allow them to hear their truth. That to me is what a truth guide does, and that to me what an intuitive reading is.
I love it. And I asked that because a lot of the followers that I have are Christians.
Yeah. And
the spookiness piece of it is just, very, very, very real. Being a Christian, it's just like, I don't know, I don't want to be a part of that. But I love that you mentioned the Holy Spirit, because that's exactly, it's synonymous. It's just a different way of looking at it, or a different term that you're using. And so thank you for sharing that. I really, really appreciate that. So guys, it's nothing spooky. It's nothing divination. Is none of that. It's simply you connecting with yourself, or connecting with Berni, like you said, your two souls connecting and having a conversation. It's very affirming as well, and you'll see that as we continue to discuss and when she does my reading here today. So I know all about Brave Bear, right? Because I am a brave bear.
Yes, you are.
I'm a brave bear. So I want to talk about like the top 3 qualities, whatever comes to mind in life, that one must take to become brave, or to be a brave bear.
I love this. I love this question because as I'm forming my definitions and my vocabulary for the Brave Bear community, I think this is such a great question to help shape that. But a quick background on the term Brave Bear and why my community is called that. So my first name is actually Bernadette, and Bernadette in French means brave as a bear. I didn't know this until I was, until the internet came around. So I was a little bit older, probably late teens, early 20s. And interestingly enough, I don't think you know this, Veronda, but my last name, shUNG, which I'm not Chinese, but I'm pretty sure I'm descended from, China from centuries ago. shUNG in Chinese means bear. So when you put my name together, it's like brave as a bear. So it's like, how much more can I be a bear, right? And so when I finally decided to think of a brand, I wanted something that would really feel like it's me. I didn't really have to try too hard. It encompasses who I am, what I stand for. And it's not about Berni being the head of a community. It's about Berni cultivating a community of amazing people who are like-minded and like-hearted. And so how are we all brave bears in our own right? Okay, so we'll start with that. But to me, a brave bear is somebody who, even though you are scared, you still move forward. and you stand up for whatever that thing is that you believe in, or you speak up about that thing you just can't shut up about anymore because it matters so much to you. And you really want to move through life and contribute in a way where it's like, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how it's going to end up, but I just know I want to leave a positive contribution in this world before I leave it. So whatever that job is, whatever that project is, however I can get involved in that, that's what I want to do. So for me, I've been attracting people like that to this Brave Bear community because we don't know why we have this nudge from the universe or from God or from elsewhere that says, I wake up every day and I want to be more, I want to do more, I want to make an impact, right? I think we probably all of us are born that way, but over time, some of us kind of maybe go down a different path. But for Brave Bears, we're obsessed with wanting to make a difference in the world. So top 3 things is we're afraid, but we still have the courage to move through that fear, right? I would say another thing is having something that matters so much to you that you just have to keep showing up. So I would say maybe having a purpose. And then I'd say the third, and this is hard because there's more than 3. And I'd say the third is consistency, continuing to show up. It's hard every day, but you know what? Still going to show up today. Still going to show up today. I'm still going to show up today. So those top 3 things, there's a lot more, but I think that'll get you going for now.
Yeah, showing up is huge. That's a big piece of it because so often as a Brave Bear, as a person that has this huge calling or purpose, oftentimes we kind of shrink or we second guess, the intuition that we have about this purpose, right? And so it's really important that we understand the power that we have within and to be able to own that, whatever the purpose is, whatever the calling is, and walk into that. So did that in any way, I guess, kind of feed you or lead you into becoming, a truth guide, intuitive reader?
It's interesting because when I now look back and I connect all the dots along my journey, I think I've had a lot of little moments in my life where there were glimpses of when I was at my rock bottom or when I went through something that seemed debilitating. There was always something invisible, it felt like, that pulled me through. And I think that trusting and having faith in things working out, if I just continue to get up and move forward, I think at some point it took me along this trajectory of, maybe it's not a coincidence and maybe it's not an accident. Maybe there is something happening inside me, which I now know is, intuition, but maybe there's something happening inside me that I need to understand. And maybe I need to develop whatever that thing is called now that I think I know what it is, so that I can now more strategically and deliberately make changes and make choice moving forward. So I would say the first time I had some kind of, spiritual or intuitive epiphany, I would say was probably about 10 years old, when I kind of felt this, I'm going to use the word calling because that's the best way I can describe it. I just remember sitting there one day thinking, I see the world, I see people around me, I see myself and my family, and I see at times people suffer. Why do people have to suffer? Why are there people who are, less fortunate? Why are there people who don't have some things? Why are some people so sad? I want to grow up and be somebody who helps these people to be happy, help them change their life around. I'm going to be somebody someday who's going to make a difference because I don't want these people to feel sad. I don't want these people to be left behind. And so then over the course of the next, 30 years, every few years, there was always something where I would just pause in the middle of whatever horrible experience I was going through. And I'd say, you know what, there's something bigger than me at play. Get out of your victimhood right now, get out of your head and trust and believe that things are going to be okay. You've got to make the decision. You've got to take the action and do something positive today to move forward and change this. And so little by little, I kept doing it and kept doing it. And now I'm not going to say I'm at the end of completely transforming. the fact that sometimes things are going to happen to us, and I'm probably going to be in that place again, but I'm much better now, more quickly moving through those debilitating times, because I have the tools now to say, okay, I've been here before. I got this. I can do this. And so, a lot of hundreds and thousands of little things, Veronda, that led me here.
Yeah, I get it. I still get it. I really like when you said to get out of your own victim mindset, essentially. That speaks to, in some ways, trauma. And I'm not going to become a therapist on here.
No, please. Please do. Please do, because I can validate you. I've been through therapy, so I can validate you. So please do. Go ahead. I want to hear this.
The victim mindset often is the result of some type of trauma, and the trauma kind of stops us. It stagnates us. It paralyzes us. It is that negative inner chatter that you have that kind of stops you from being able to move forward in life. And you become stuck and kind of, I often say there's more gifts in the grave than walking the earth, because a lot of people leave the earth, they die, and never had a chance to really fulfill their purpose here. And so it's kind of sad to know that. And, having people like yourself, having people like me that have the heart and the calling. And when there's a calling, there is a power to go forth and do whatever it is that calling is. Having that support there is really essential for so many people. When you are dealing with, some type of victimization or trauma, it helps to have a Berni. It helps to have a therapist that can really guide you through that navigation, so that you're not looking at life from that lens only, because you can do that so easily, and you don't really do anything in life because of what you're seeing in front of you. So that's
right. Can I add something to what you just said? Because you just said something so important, and it was so beautiful the way you put it. What I wanted to add was, and having someone like a therapist, having someone like a Veronda, having someone like a Berni, a coach, I would say what's also so important about people like us and other people out there doing this kind of work, many times we've gone through these experiences too, right? So we have firsthand experience and we can relate. So it's not like we're at a place of, we're on the soapbox and there's no way you can touch us because, we're impeccably perfect. It's if Berni has been through enough experiences to now be able to say, okay, anybody who's, kind of coming behind her, not too much farther behind her, with this very same experience, for example, let's say domestic abuse. That was definitely something that I experienced firsthand in my life. If someone has experienced that in their life, I am likely more able to help you than maybe someone who's never experienced that, right? Who wants to try to coach you or work you through, help you through that. And the reason that I'm able to say, okay, maybe now I'm okay with the fact that that happened to me a long time ago, because now I've been able to transform it into a strength and into a gift, because my experience can now help me I'm more equipped now to help this person with tools I maybe would have not had those things not happened to me in the past. So I feel like at the same time, though crappy things can happen to us, know that you're not alone, and know that many people who've come before you, who just have a little bit, more of an edge or more tools or more experience or a little bit better equipped, doesn't mean they're better than you. It just means that they've been there before and they can support you. So you can model after what they have to share with you. So that's part of the reason why I love doing the work I do. It's not to say I'm done learning and I'm going to fix you. We all have issues. We all have been through stuff, but I might be able to see some pitfalls you haven't seen yet. And I'm just going to help you be careful to kind of navigate those holes as you're walking through the forest, So that's really important for me to make sure that I said here, because we are all whole. We are all beautiful beings. We just all have different experiences and different journeys, and we've gotten to different crossroads of our journey at different times. But that's why we find people to support us and to help us, someone who can, resonate with what we're going through.
Yeah. Telling the truth, y'all. She over there preaching. It's so true. It's so true. And I like that you said, you brought that to reality in terms of how people may see us. We're not too far ahead of you in a lot of ways.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think life is just an evolution for everybody, for everyone. So I look at it as we're just on different planes, we're on different planes, and we may have a slightly different path, but we're all taking a journey together. And I wish that the world would look at life that way.
I agree. I wish
that the world could see it that way, because it's so powerful. It's so much of like a world community view of how life really should be, how it should be. Right. So thank you for even bringing that up. I appreciate that. I know you've had a lot of readings that you've done before, quite a few of them, probably hundreds, not thousands. And we're going to get to mine. But before you do that, I want to know one of the most powerful ones that you've done thus far.
It's funny. I love all of them, but there is one that happened while I was doing an expo a few years ago. And I got in front of a group of, I'd say about 35, 40 people in a room. Never met any of them before. Maybe they walked past my booth or something, not sure. And I don't know why I do this, but it was my very first time reading for a group. And I'm typically better one-on-one because, like I said, it's like our souls having a conversation. So just two souls talking to each other. So now I've got this big group and I'm just like, oh my goodness, am I going to do a good job? What have I gotten myself into? So I'm standing in front of the room, just got done telling my quick story. And then I opened the floor for questions, and there was this couple, middle-aged couple. And the only question they asked me is, what can you tell us about our son? That's all they said. And me being a newbie, at the time, I probably could have asked more follow-up questions to gain clarity about what they were looking for so that I could, hone that message better. But nope, I didn't. Being a newbie, very first time, I just said, okay, I'm going to start channeling and, pretty much try to be as psychic as possible and read their minds. And so I kept seeing, and this is really cool because I'm going to kind of tell you guys what happens behind the scenes, right? So as I'm, hearing the question, what do I need to tell them about their son? I kept seeing an image of a little toddler. And he was playing in front of a couch. And he was like in a onesie, and there's toys all over, and he's just happy and just playing, constant playing. And then as I kind of zoomed out of the picture a little bit, there's nobody there. He was all by himself playing. And so in my head, I just kept going, what is this kid doing? He's playing by himself. What's he doing? Where's everybody? And so I'm like, okay, everybody's staring at me, process in front of the room. I have to say something. So I basically say, I see a toddler and he's playing by himself. Go now the words and the messages and the pictures are flowing much faster. Now as I'm zooming out, I can see that he really is just being playful all by himself, nobody's there. And so I finally ask a question and I say, does this child have some social issues? Does he have trouble socializing? And the parents kind of just, do the nod. And then I continue to channel. And basically what it comes down to at the end is I give them a message and say that he's okay and that they worry about him too much and that maybe they don't always, aren't able to communicate with him as well as they would like to, but he needs them to know that he loves them so much and that he believes that they've done their best job ever and they need to stop blaming themselves and that he's okay and that he lives in this world that's full of life and full of love and he's got more joy than they think he does. And so for them to stop worrying, because as they are sitting here trying to get a reading for him, he's more worried about their anxiety than the true fear of him being okay. So later on, I walk past the parents and they say, by the way, our kid has autism. And I just got like the biggest goosebumps, because I'm just like, right? And so that one blew me away just because when I allowed myself to just really be there and present and in the moment for them. What I learned from that, though, which is also why it's another great reading, is that I need to ask more follow-up questions, and that we're not here to be I'm not trying to do a magic trick. I'm not trying to impress anybody. It's not about my accuracy. It's about being a channel and being a guide for people. And so if we want more information and we want it to come through quicker and we want it to be more effective, we shouldn't try to read minds. It should be more of a two-way conversation. So
that's pretty significant, that even though you didn't do the drill down questions, you still kind of hit it right on the head. So it had to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Rewarding, affirming, reassuring for those parents to hear, that he's okay. He's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, it's nothing negative. It's all positive. And it's, to do just what she explained in one of her most powerful readings, is to reaffirm the individual and their quest in life. So,
right. And I'm glad can I just add real quick? I'm glad you said that, because if there has ever been an experience where you've either seen or heard, or maybe in the future experience someone who tries to bring you doom and gloom, when it comes to doing these types of readings, stay away from those people, because there are some people out there who are trying to send messages that are not from light and love. Right? So the kind of work that I think any intuitive reader should be doing should be from a place of light and love. It should be from a place of, I'm going to validate you. I'm going to reaffirm something for you. And if there is anything that is a warning or that you should be careful of, I'm not going to scare you or instill fear in you. I'm going to empower you and give you tools so that you can work through it and navigate it and move forward. So either way, it's still going to be a positive and empowering experience. So stay away from those doom and gloom folks. There are many out there, and I would just say be careful, because then you get into a whole other territory that you don't want to get into.
No, not at all. Yep. So, all righty, Berni.
You ready? I see the look of dread on your face.
Okay.
You ready?
I am ready. I trust you. You are my truth guide. You're my girl. So I'm ready.
I love you. I love Veronda. All right. So I'm going to take you through this just the way I would normally. So yep. I want the audience to see it here just like it would be. So let's take a few seconds. Let's close our eyes together. And let's take a few seconds. And audience, feel free to do this too. This is a great time for some centering, grounding, and balancing. So Veronda, as you're thinking about the intention or the question you're going to ask, just go ahead and use this time to really sink into your chair. Help yourself to feel lighter in your chair. Breathe in the goodness of the day. Exhale all the stress, all the worries, all the anxiety, all the to-do lists, and everything else. We're going to inhale and exhale a few more times. Allow yourself to open up to the messages that want to come through to you today, what you need to hear, how you need to be validated, and just trust and know that the messages that are coming through are from your own divine wisdom. This is what you already know deep down inside of you. And like I said, our souls are having a conversation with each other, and I'm just going to help you bring out what it is that you need to hear and sense and feel and see at this time, so that you can move forward with whatever this intention is. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, now that we're a little bit more centered, all you have to do is sit there and listen and validate, and I'll go ahead and let the messages come through. So for the audience, messages tend to come through a few different ways for me. Most prominently, it's I'll kind of hear a thought. I'll kind of like see a word and feel like I need to say it. I might see an image like it's a movie playing in my mind. And sometimes I'll just have this feeling where I just know something, as if I have no idea why, but somehow something's coming to me and I just have to say it. And so what I'm immediately getting, which I tend to get this for Veronda since she has done a few readings with me before, I think there's a theme here with the worry, which is not surprising because worry is my middle name. The word worry is showing up for you, Veronda. Let me just see what else is coming through about worry. Yeah. Okay. You're not so much worried that you're going to achieve some goals that you've set for you because you have very high, big goals. This girl's an overachiever, by the way. I think you guys know this by now, but she is an overachiever. She's got a lot of big goals and she reaches many, if not all of them. So there's no doubt in my mind that you, Veronda, you're gonna kill it. You're gonna crush whatever you do. But here's the worry. The worry is not from that. The worry is from, am I gonna get to everything that I want to do? There's so much I want to do. There's so much I want to contribute to. There's so many people to help. There are so many great projects I have coming up. I'm worried that I'm not going to have the bandwidth or the capacity to get to all of it because I want to do all of it. And why not? Why not do all of it? Because all of it's important, right? So the worry is, how am I going to make it happen? How do I choose? How do I choose which one takes precedence? How do I choose which one I dive more deeply into and then delegate the rest to someone else? And I already know that you've done this with your other business, but in general, this is the feeling around all of it, Veronda. It's not just that one business that you've transformed and now you're doing this. There's more. There's more with you. This is the ongoing theme. Okay, and then what? Then what? Then what? Right? And this is not bad, by the way. You know, sometimes we hear about people who they're always chasing something and nothing's ever good enough. That's not the case with Veronda here. What's going on is everything she's working on, everything you're working on is so important. You're not just jumping from one thing to the next and to the next and you can't decide and you're being, non-committal. It's not that at all. There is a lot of work to do. The world does need more Veronda Bellamy right now. And you're going to be working. That's all I gotta say. You are gonna be working, and I know you have already. Get used to it. Get used to it. Know that that is your MO, that you are going to be working. I use the word hustle, and I mean it in a good way, but you're gonna be hustling. you're the go she boss, right? Lady boss. And this is going to be the way you're operating for, I'd say, a few years. Until you get to I'm seeing the word 5, 6, 7 years, until you get to a place where it's like, I grew this thing the way I needed to, and then what, right? Because there's going to be something else that comes after that. So okay, let's just ground for a second here. So A, yes, you're going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of projects you're going to be working on. B, you still need to work on prioritizing what you put your hands on and what you prioritize for you specifically, and then what gets delegated. So there's going to be more than just that business. There's other things you're going to start delegating. And then the third thing is, after you've gotten to a place of, this is where I want it to be, this is what I want it to look like, there is going to be something else that evolves after that. Because what happens when we grow, Veronda, as you know, is that we don't stay the same. Right? Nothing stays the same. Change is constant. So we grow to a place where it's like, oh, shoot, I have to change too. Okay, so that means I have to now go over here, right? So that's constantly going to happen. So the worry, I would say, the feedback I'm getting from your spirit team right now is, use that worry to help you be more productive with how you're spending your time and energy and prioritizing your work. So instead of worrying about, and I'm going to overuse the word worry, instead of being stuck in the thoughts about what's going to happen and, oh my goodness, use that time to then go, okay, so let me grab a piece of paper, then a pen then, and start writing things, right? Let me start practically doing something so that this turns into this, right? So we transform that worry and that anxiety, and we put pen to paper, and we're now tangibly removing that anxiety from our physical body and actually turning it into something that we can constructively and productively do. Okay, so your worry is a good worry. It's a Mama Bear's got things to do, so I ain't got time. I ain't got time for you people slacking off and lagging behind. Mama's got to go. So that's the energy around it. So just be mindful of it. that you must prepare yourself for this whirlwind of a life that you've built for yourself, and career, really. I love to call it career, because you've built yourself this career that's very beautiful. It's meaningful, purposeful work that's contributing to a positive difference in the world. Yeah, of course you're going to be tired. Of course you're going to be working hard. And of course you're going to need to remove yourself from some projects so that you can jump in other projects and continue to evolve. So that's the first set of feedback. Anything you want to validate? Any follow-up questions do you have?
Yeah, worry is probably my first name before Veronda. You, as usual, hit it right on the head. Yeah, it's very much everything that you said. It's more about, will I have time to do all of this and all of that. So I have a publicist that I'm going to start working with, and I had reached out to her. I'm just giving you a little backdrop, but I reached out to her last year, and I kind of vomited on her, for lack of better words, on all this stuff, right? And she was like, ma'am, I'm not ready to work with you. You're not ready to work with me. And I was like, what do you mean? But I have all these, I want to do it. And she was like, no, call me back in about 3 months or so. And so I was like, kind of her. I was like, what does this mean? And so I started pulling things together, and I made the decision to finally transition from Bridging the Gap as a director into the Relevancy Factor Suite, Veronda Bellamy Enterprise and Company and all that, right? So I was like, I think I might be ready for her now. And so I reached out to her, and she's a powerhouse. So I reached out to her. I was like, hey, girl, I think I'm ready. LOL. And she responded, and we met, and she was like, you're ready now. Mm-hmm. You're ready now. She's like, everything that you're saying makes sense. Like, it's so clear what it is, the path that you're taking. And so I was like, okay, yes, let's go. Let's do this, And so, yeah, and here we are. Of course, you've already given me 2 thumbs up in the past, and kind of, just reassured me that I was taking the right path. And so I'm blessed to have such powerful women, that I can reach out to whenever I need to make sure I'm going down the right path. So yes, worry. I try my best not to, but I can't help it. Right. It's for the good. It is for the good, because my heart is so big, and I really do want to see a change in the world. I really do want to see that. So, and worry can be good when you're using it for good. And so your worry, it helped you to be productive because it helped you to get your focus, right, for your publicist, and to be able to say, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. This is why I want to do it. So now I'm going to lay it all out and organize it in a great way so that people can come on board and support me with this mission, right? And I think in so many words, maybe your publicist did say that, maybe she didn't, but in so many words, I think your publicist was looking for that focus and that acknowledgement that, yes, Veronda gets her brand. She knows who she is. She knows how she wants to show up in the world, and it will make me a publicist,
it'll equip me with everything I need to do my job even better, to promote her and to support her and to help her, you know? So I think the worry helped you to finally get in the zone and to finally just trust what is at play, what wants to happen, what needs to happen. All right, I need to start sketching this out and mapping this out and figuring it out. And the people who are going to come on board and be a part of that team, they're going to show up because they're going to get it. It's going to make sense. It's going to resonate with them too. So I think it's key what you did. You really focused on who you are and what you want, and you went for it. So kudos to you.
I have a little 7-month-old that kind of helped out that process too. So she was like, hello, Mom. Hi. Yeah. No, we can't be doing all this. Like, we gotta pull this together. And so.
But I love that. I love that you birthed something and you birthed something, right?
It's crazy. Oh, crazy. So crazy.
Any follow-ups? Anything else that you wanted to know while the channel is still open?
Anything else that I would like to know? I think you kind of nailed it. I know that it'll be successful. I know that I will change lives. I know that it will be a global platform. I do, you think, yeah, I want to make sure my husband is going to be okay too in this whole process. So, and we've talked about this for years. So,
do you want me to read the energy maybe behind kind of just things to look out for, you know, what to be mindful of with your husband? Okay. And the great thing about this is, you know, as the audience is thinking about this, you know, can she read others for somebody else? And I think the positive thing about this is because Veronda already talks to her husband about these things, it's no surprise, it's not a secret, and so it's not like we're tapping into him secretly. I think it's just the energy is already there. And so how can we, as we're getting a reading, help ourselves to be more loving and more connected and more inclusive with the people around us? And so I think that's what Veronda's asking here. So with your husband, he has, I never met him, but what a beautiful energy. I get these little warm butterfly fluttery, you know, goosebumps all over me. He is I'm feeling like a big bear hug. I get this big bear hug from him. And he's just so full of love and joy and wow, huge, immense, Veronda, whoa, this is good. I feel this immense power, this, you know, when you go to church and you see some people and you don't even really have to say anything to them, but all of a sudden you kind of feel like, oh, that person has a presence. And it doesn't even have to be church. It could just be, you know, a public place where people are, you know, coming together, whether it's to worship or, you know, to do something joyous together, to celebrate even a party maybe. He has one of those energies that fills up the room. It's big. He's got a lot of love and light. He's very positive, very, very extremely supportive. He doesn't, sorry, Siri is trying to talk while I am talking. I am so sorry about that. He doesn't feel intimidated by you at all. He's like, she's my queen. This is my queen. I'm turning red. Do you see that? Oh my gosh. She's my queen. I'm going to support my queen. I'm her king. We do this together. We're in this together. When she, you know, I lift her up, she lifts me up. You know, as we lift up in the world, we go together, right? So, oh my gosh, I'm kind of all over the place, but there's no issue here. He is going to be just fine. I think actually he worries a little bit more about you and whether you're being too hard on yourself, because he knows you're capable. He knows you know you're capable, but for whatever reason, he knows that you think you still aren't doing enough. Am I good enough wife? Am I good enough mom? Am I a good enough business person? Am I a good enough therapist? Am I good enough, director? Am I good enough, daughter? Am I good enough whatever, right? He is like, if she only knew how amazing she was, I worry about her that she doesn't realize how enough she is already. So that's the energy I'm getting from him. So I'm pretty sure you are thankful of him and grateful for him. So continue to love him up with your words of affirmation. Showing showing him you're thankful, showing him your that you love him. Spend a lot of quality time with him. He likes that. He likes hugs. He likes kisses. He loves being with his girls. But just really come into your own, and that is even more attractive to him than feeling the need to take care of you, because he knows that you'll let him take care of you, but he also thinks it's sexy when you can take care of yourself and you're independent too. So anyway, how's that?
Perfect. You got me over here almost in tears. He literally
turned red. I turned red. I'm like, oh.
He's a big teddy bear. He always says to me, like, when he sees me worrying or I'm stressing, and when I'm not, like, if I smile, he'll go, "You're beautiful. You're just beautiful." And so he's like, "I love to see you smile. I love to see you happy." He says that all the time, and he is a big protector. He's a big personality. He's quiet around some people, but his his spirit is huge. And I really feel like he's my protection, or as he says, he's my what is he like, my bodyguard. He's my bodyguard is how he kind of looks at it. So and he's Armani's, the baby's chauffeur. He chauffeurs her everywhere she wants to go. So that's just how he sees it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So.
What a beautiful soul. You know what I'm also getting too? I don't know if you've thought about this before. I'm getting an intuitive hit that you're going to be including him in your revolution. I don't know if he's already shown up before in it, but he has got some profound things to say, and his presence is going to be huge. I really think there's going to be some teaming up and partnering, not only with the relevancy factor, but I think there's going to be some other stuff that you guys are doing together. So I think this is going to be, Bellamy inspired, because honestly, there's something about the way you guys connect that makes you guys even more powerful as like a powerhouse couple. And by saying powerhouse, I just mean like beautiful, lovely, light, giving, just wonderful people. And I think the world needs to see more of people like that, couples like that in the world, not that superficial, too much whatever, right? Too much reality TV kind of people. They want to see real people. And so anyway, I'm seeing some of that collaboration happening with him.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Yeah. 100% accurate.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly true. We have a couples book that we've written, we haven't published. So that's...
You did not tell me this.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So it's a lot that's going to evolve. Your girl, listen.
Hey, look, I still get surprised.
You got me right here crying. What is up with that?
Even though I'm the channeler, I'm the truth guide, I still get surprised because I never know what's going to come through. And so when it comes through and I'm hearing it for the first time too, I feel the emotion you feel. I wanted to cry. I was turning red. I'm like, I want to be this couple. So thank you. I feel honored to be able to read for both of you. That's beautiful. What's coming up is going to be so beautiful. So trust that.
I will. I receive that. I do. Thank you so much, Berni. Guys,
You're
you've
welcome.
seen her work here for yourself. She is a truth God. I can't even get that out. A truth God. I'm feeling so light and cool right now.
That's the point. That's the point. It's good.
But she's a truth guide. And if anyone wants to reach out to you, how can they do that?
Yep. So the best place to reach me, I just launched a brand new project called Hey Brave Bear. You can find that at heybravebear.com. And that's hey as an H-E-Y. Heybravebear.com is an online personal and professional and intuitive development hub. So basically you can find courses that you can take on your own. You can find coaching programs. You can, from time to time, I'm going to be offering limited spaces to do readings just like this, so that you have access to be able to sign up for readings and do it just like this over Zoom or Skype. But heybravebear.com is the best place to find me. If you're also interested in shows like this, I do a couple shows right now too. One is called thebravebearshow.com, and that's where, very similar to Veronda, I talk to people about intuition and just really, you know, how to get more in tune with yourself. And so that gets published every other week or so. So you can find that at thebravebearshow.com. And then lastly, every Monday, I offer free live readings on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, just go to facebook.com and then look for a Brave Bear community, and you'll find all of the listings on, you know, when I'm showing up and what time. But that's every Monday. So hope to see you guys there.
Awesome. She's thebomb.com. That should be your website. She's amazing. Berni, is always, always, always a treat, an honor, a privilege, just amazing having you on to speak to my little community over here, the Relevancy Factor. Guys, make sure you do go and follow her. And if you are looking to have some type of reading, definitely reach out to her. She's amazing. I want to thank you again, Berni, for joining us. Alrighty, guys. Wow. Woo. Yeah. Berni Xiong. She actually was, so the Relevancy Factor Suite, a Veronda Bellamy inspired podcast or show. Actually, this used to just be called Veronda Bellamy Inspired. And so I started the Veronda Bellamy Inspired show for those that have not, and maybe new following me, have not been following. I started it back in 2013. I did a big launch, 11/12/2013, that week. And I introduced the Veronda Bellamy Inspired show. And one of my very first guests, actually, Berni was my first guest. I don't even know how we met, because she is not in the same state with me. She is based out of, I want to say, Washington. I forget, somewhere up that way. She is not in the same state. So I don't even remember how we connected, but we did. And anytime I ask her to show up, she does. And it's always so impactful, so meaningful. And it's just revelation that comes from it. So I'm glad that she was able to present herself to you guys, because I do believe that her readings are from light. Like she said, I believe that they are there to build you up, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we get stuck and we just need a quick little, okay, reassurance. Am I on the right track, or should I go this way, or should I? And yeah, we could, as a Christian, we can always look within, and we can trust the Holy Spirit, but sometimes we don't do that, right? And so I think people like Berni is there to help us along the way. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's wrong when it's used for, I don't know, like, you sense when it's wrong. She's not doing anything negative. It's nothing demonic or any of that. So I hope that, seeing her do a live reading kind of gives you that confidence and understanding what it is. And if you've been thinking about it and just was kind of, hesitant because of the reputation of, then I hope this reassures you. I hope this gives you some reassurance on, what it is exactly and how helpful and impactful it can be. So again, that was Berni Xiong. She shared all of our contact information. Make sure you do go and follow her. I'm sure she'll be back on at some point in this whole transition of mine. For many of you, you don't know, I'm transitioning from my agency into Veronda Bellamy Enterprising Company, which is now the parent company of Bridging the Gap of America Incorporated, my 501c3. And so things are changing and have shifted for me. And that was a difficult shift. It took me about a year, actually, guys, to get to the point of even verbalizing that I was going to make the shift. It was hard because Bridging the Gap is my baby. I birthed it and nurtured it and grew it and all of that, right? So to say that it's time for me to part from it was like, what do you mean? Like, why? No, we're married. This thing just doesn't. So, but eventually it got to the point to where I made that decision, and here we are. So I'm back doing interviews, which I love to do interviews. And there's a lot of information and more services, resources, content, all of that good stuff that I have coming your way. So stay tuned. Make sure you do continue to stay in the loop of the Relevancy Factor Suite, a Veronda Bellamy inspired podcast with Veronda Bellamy inspired show. And turn on your post notifications so that you're in tune with them. There's no set rhythm or rhyme to them. At this point, it's just basically as I, feel like I need to bring someone on to share with you all, then I will do that. Or if I want to pop in and do just something with you, I'll do that as well. I have a webinar coming up actually that's about career transitioning. So once that's ready to get started, I will certainly go ahead and ensure that you guys have everything that you need to join that webinar. It's going to be very powerful. I believe that it's time for you to step into your relevance. That's what the Relevancy Factor really is all about. Understanding what your purpose is, understanding your brilliance, being bold, being courageous, and showing up, being consistent in what you have been called to, having the courage to do that. And I do so in one way by helping you understand trauma. So it's just a technique that I use, and I'll be sharing just one program with you guys on career transitioning, because I feel like there's so many of you that are ready to make a shift in your career. And now is the time, despite the pandemics, plural, that we have going on, it is time for you to make that shift. If you needed to hear that, there you go. So, all right, guys, we're at the top of the hour. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but I want to thank you for joining the Relevancy Factor Suite, a Veronda Bellamy inspired show. We occasionally give away prizes. Who knows what type of prize is coming up next? Please join us back for our next episode. You got to follow me on all social media at Veronda Bellamy, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't do a whole lot on Twitter, but if you want to follow me, I am there, Veronda Bellamy, and Periscope at Veronda Bellamy. Again, thank you all for joining. If anyone would like to work with me for personal business development, visit me online at verondabellamy.com. Click on appointment, and you should be able to schedule from there. We will be sharing a lot more content with you all, guests along with prizes and freebies. Stay plugged in. And as I always say, I want you to smile at someone and show someone the love of God today. You are relevant. You are relevant. Bye-bye for now.